Hello, and thank you for joining us. My name is Ben Sheen. I'm one of the managing editors here at Stratfor, and I'm joined here today by our Vice President of Intelligence, Fred Burton.
Morning, Ben.
Good to have you here, Fred.
Thank you.
Now, here at Stratfor, we have developed an incredible resource, an incredible amount of information based on security, both at the personal, the corporate, and the national level. As an individual who spent a lifetime in high-risk, high-threat environments, what are some of your big takeaways when it comes to security?
I think I'm really excited about this series because we're going to break it down on how people can protect themselves. And I think most people have this perception that the government is going to look out for them and ensure that they're always safe. The first takeaway on any kind of security plan is the proper mindset. You have to be aware that the world is a dangerous place. So it's critical that individuals maintain the proper mindset.
And it's interesting because often people have that illusion of safety, and actually they will miss certain cues that could be really important to maintaining their own security and the security of those around them. How can somebody enhance their overall ability to be aware of threats?
Well, I'm hoping that this series will do that, but that brings me to the second point of the building blocks of personal security, which is situational awareness. And a lot of this deals with that mindset and being cognizant of your surroundings and making sure that you have the proper situational awareness, whether that be you're walking to your car late at night or going into a hostile environment such as Afghanistan.
And often something we have seen in the past is that when a situation does begin to unfold, often people react very slowly or do not immediately recognize the warning signs. And that seems to be a key thing as well, is that early identification of the threat and then a reaction to that.
No doubt, much like your time in Afghanistan, you have to be prepared to react and to have a plan. And that can save lives in itself, whether it be an act of workplace violence or an act of terrorism. If you look at the current polls out today, many people in North America feel very unsecure due to the terror risk from ISIS, for example. So we're hoping that this building blocks of personal security will help individuals understand and be prepared, and so they know what the threat may be, but more importantly, be in a position to react and to understand, to see it coming.
And it's like you talk about in your recent book, Under Fire, about the situation in Benghazi. You mentioned the fact that often it's not just one thing that will spark an incident. Often it's a real collusion of factors. There are many things that play a part in it. And actually, once things do deteriorate, they deteriorate very quickly.
That's the one thing that I think that most people don't understand, that when things start to unfold, they usually can turn badly very quickly. Every victim that has lived through a terrorist attack that I've talked to, for example, hostages, they will tell you that something just wasn't right preceding those events. Call it your gut, but your mind is going to perceive those kinds of things such as pre-operational surveillance. You know that from walking the battlefields of Afghanistan. You get a sense that something is just not right. And the people that stay alive from those kinds of events react to those and put themselves out of harm's way. And in essence, move and get off the X.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we used to look for specifically was the presence of the abnormal or the absence of the normal. And those would often give you little visual clues. And if you were aware in your mind that something might be about to unfold, you could already start surveying your environment, being aware of individual threats, assessing escape routes or cover positions and that sort of thing.
I think that's critical, Ben, meaning most people today, if you look at them on the streets of any major city around the world, they have their head buried in their iPhone or BlackBerry. They're not paying attention to their surroundings. There's certain critical moments in time on every person's day-to-day work or taking the kids to school that you need to be more situationally aware, which leads to you have to have that proper mindset, and you'll be able to see and identify things that just don't look right. And that could be a criminal or that could be a potential terrorist. So we're hoping that this series will help people understand this and they can stay safe.
Absolutely, Fred. And that's why we're excited about the series, because it's a representation of so much of the work we've done here at Stratfor, aiming at making people safer in their personal environments. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today, but look forward to our series on personal security in 4 parts starting next week.